Please cut the IRS down to size, and it would be a small size. Joining me now, Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, who promises to use the power of the purse. Beth, by the way, I didn't know this, but I learned from Dan Clifton, who's a very smart Washington watcher. This so-called omnibus spending bill has even more money for the IRS. I didn't know that. I think it's like another $26 billion. That's on top of the Inflation Reduction Act, fraudulently named.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. We are seeing untold dollars being pumped into the IRS to grow more bureaucracy, to be able to hound small business owners and farmers. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. This is about getting inside every single individual American who spends over $600 or gets paid more than $600 from other than a direct employment relationship. Look, the federal government can't even keep track of its own spending. You know, we just saw earlier this week DOD not being able to attribute $2.2 trillion, and yet we're somehow blowing that off. And yet every single American out there is going to be asked to account in paperwork, to be able to defend to the IRS, to be put in the position of having to defend itself for $600. And by the way, that's not $600 just in one action. That is $600 cumulative over an entire year.
Right. It's incredible. Beth, just tell us briefly, power of the purse. That's what the House Republicans can exercise. Can you just sort of summarize that for us?
So yeah, I mean, obviously you've got three branches of government. We all have our own individual powers. The power of the purse, it rests in the Congress. We're the one who gets to decide the budget, and appropriations gets to decide how that's split out and spent. Starting in January 3rd, when the Republicans have back control of the House, what you're going to see is funding being cut for those 87,000 additional IRS agents that Democrats pushed through in a purely partisan manner this last Congress. We're going to stop that. But we're also going to look to be able to repeal some of this nonsense provisions that, again, were passed under a Democrat Congress, starting with a proud co-sponsor of Representative Carol Miller's bill that would repeal this provision that allows the government to be able to look at people's expenses at $600. I think it's a ridiculous amount of money that they're going to be hounding people. You're growing government. This is not a tax. This is not a tax issue. This is not to get into these multinational corporations' treasuries. What this is specifically is going after small business owners. This is going after a gig economy, and we have to attack it.
And just we're running out of time, as we always do. But can you also, I mean, there may not be a vote separately on this stuff, but if there's an omnibus budget, you got to stop the IRS add-on. There's $25 billion on top of the $80 billion that you were talking about. I mean, somebody's got to look into that. I didn't know about it until today.
Yeah, these major, huge bills that come out, you have no time to read, and they quickly push them on the floor and pass them. Well, you know, under the guise of nobody able to understand them or have a time to read them. We will be looking at that. Look, you got a House that's going to be taken over hopefully by Republicans. They're going to be fiscally responsible, looking at that and holding Democrats.
Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Thank you.